Yanji Chimbozo Danying Megan, on the Molam Chimbong of Jada, Pakartan, Sandu Kirmado, Tumba Tuji, Janla, Kip Shanser, Roman Chuji, Anji Podana, Tisum Sanji Gunyo, and Ransom Churgung on some Savelama, Nalang, Gupsha, and Sir. Good morning. And welcome to all of you to the White Tara teachings and practice. And I am happy to see everyone again, and happy to talk with you about Dharma and practice meditation. As you know, today the topic teaching about Vaitara, the female Buddha. And I also would like to say thank you to the Dilute Bodhichitta Sangha, especially thank you to Rick and Candace. A very bad memory. The names and other volunteers. Thank you. And thank you getting everything ready for this one-day retreat, for and all the help. So I think very, very nice, and I'm very happy to have this opportunity. All of us get together and doing these spiritual activities and be able to talk about Dharma with all of you. And today I'm not going to teach you the basic Buddhist teaching, because I'm sure many of you know about Buddhism very well. So Vaitara teaching is actually kind of Vajrayana teaching, and advanced student, and kind of profound teaching. So during the class, I usually give a teaching first and then allow some time for us to meditate together. I will do that today. Probably will chat with Vaitara Rachel and her mantra with the visualizations today. Usually when we meditate, especially Bodhichitta Sangha in Minneapolis, when we have a teaching in meditation, like the meditation will be like, sometimes we have the combination of shamatha and vipassana, and sometimes we have the other teachings like meditation, 3 channels, and Sometimes we have tried to meditate on nature mind, something like that. But today, it's a little bit different because we're going to practice Vaitara. And I really hope that you will enjoy and you will like. I think some of you, maybe you don't know what is Vaitara, who she is. I will explain you as much as I can. If you have any questions, just let me know. But before the meditation and listen teaching, I would like to begin by reminding all of you that it is important to have pure and good motivation for these activities and your meditation, because the motivation for doing anything has very profound effect on the result. Therefore, it is always important to make sure uh, that investigate and think about it very beginning. So we should always be right with it in terms of knowing our intention, and uh, should always have the best motivation possible. Because usually ordinary people like us, the original intention is always really I would say uncertain and usually sort of very selfish. Um, the Mahayana's point of view is studying and practicing the teaching with this kind of uncertain motivation or unclear or pure motivation will not bring much benefit. Therefore, uh, please start by developing a pure intention for practice and studying uh, Dharma teaching, or today the Vaitara teaching, which is Mahayana uh, teaching and meditation. Uh, very, very important. As you know, of course, I always remind um, whenever I teach, very beginning, we have to correct and investigate with our motivation. Make sure best or not sort of selfish. So before we have here in the Waitara, the ritual where we begin, where we start, first we always say the prayer of the four boundless qualities. We just recite it, right? Uh, because we have to correct our motivation using sort of this prayer. Sometimes they call for immeasurable prayer, sometimes for boundless qualities prayer, whatever. It's love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. So those four uh, kind of meditations and thoughts are uh, Buddhist point of view uh, to develop very, very first important, So we say, may all sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. This means actually we are sort of wishing that everybody will not only be happy but also have the cause of happiness. People usually do not think that the cause of happiness. They're always looking for happiness but not knowing what is the cause of happiness. So, Buddhist point of view, happiness is important, but the most important is the cause of happiness, which is we have to develop. Um, because only sort of being happy is temporary temporary happiness. Um, it goes away and it will change. Um, we need the cause of happiness in order to have sort of everlasting happiness. And getting the cause of happiness means that happiness can go the long way. Um, that is the goal. So the cause of happiness actually uh, each individual um, needs develop these four boundless qualities: compassion, love, equanimity, and joy. Those are the cause of the happiness, which is you cannot just have it. You have to practice and develop. Uh, for example, like love. When we love somebody, we care for that person. Um, so when we practice love and compassion, we really need to think about it and visualize the people that we care for. I mean, not only human beings, all beings, and um, people that are close to us, right? You don't have to think all living beings from the beginning if you don't have that capacity. Even though we say in the prayer, may all sentient beings have happiness. But most people uh, difficult to think, or may all sentient beings, may all sentient beings. It's too much, right? So that's why um, if you want to develop your love and compassion, first you have to think and visualize the people or the animal, whatever, that you are very close and you care for. So that's you how you start. I mean, um, so love and compassion must be developed with the person that we care about, and also with ourselves, right? Uh, so you meditate love and compassion on yourself, your family, and the person that you care. So that is where you begin, develop your compassion. Uh, and then, you can sort of expand your compassion slowly. Um, so what I'm trying to say is today, kind of do not visualize all beings from the beginning, if it is difficult. And um, if you practice love and compassion, and one day you are comfortable with visualize all beings, and one day you have the capacity, um, then of course may all sentient beings have happiness, cause of happiness. So that is how you develop, practice your compassion and your love. So that's why we have to say may all sentient beings. So this actually um, develop love and compassion, both. These are we call the bodhicitta, love and compassion. So bodhicitta means whenever you do, you practice, you meditate, if you have a good intention, good motivation, which is benefit for all others, that's what we call bodhicitta. But that's difficult to uh, have without develop love and compassion. Uh, for the beginner, for the practitioner, it's very important to understand how to uh, develop the necessary, the fundamental, the foundation, uh, because you cannot sort of jump the higher teaching and higher meditations without good foundation. So therefore, uh, you all know that, love and compassion, um, it's important. We all know that's not the case. You have to investigate how much you have already love and compassion. If you don't have love or compassion, you have to develop, which means you have to using whatever the prayers, instructions, meditation, whatever, you have to develop. Otherwise, just knowing, I'm an intellectual, it's nothing help you, nothing help your life, nothing help your help others. So first, we need that capacity. We need that kind mind, good mind, compassionate mind. So important. Once you have the good foundations, then everything will be easy about the Buddhist practice. The meditations will be very easy. If you have not good foundation, everything's so difficult. Which means, you will understand very well. You attend the teachings, and but just to understanding is not enough. So that's why this prayer, just when we recite the prayer, it's not just saying. We have to recite this really bottom of our heart and think about really others. Just saying nothing, nothing. That same thing today we're going to practice Tara. We have sort of, we need, this just today I gave you the teachings of Tara and how to practice Tara. Then if you want, you can practice in the future, and then you know how to practice Tara, right? So otherwise, just today, um, practice Tara is not enough, just nothing, nothing. You have to diligently practice, continue. Otherwise, you don't see the benefit. Practice Tara. If you do practice continually, then you will see it. You will experience the benefit of practice Tara. So the prayers usually means your intention, your motivation. When we say these prayers, actually, what is the meaning of prayer? According to Buddhism, prayer means whenever you say you recite a prayer, you investigate your motivation. That's we call prayer. That's the meaning of the prayer. So the four boundless qualities or prayer, so many we have para prayer, whatever we have prayer, which means you have to investigate your motivation. And if you have not good motivation, you have to correct. Then your prayer will be genuine. Otherwise, you go to the Buddhist, you go to monastery, you go to church, and then you just say some prayers without understand nothing. It's kind of meaningless. You just go there. I mean, it's good. I mean, you just believe something there, but that's not enough. That's only that it cannot change your mind, and so that's why I think it's very important to understand what is prayer, what is practice, what is meditation. So now I will we have first this the refuge in bodhicitta prayer, and then we have for boundless qualities prayers. So you all know what is meaning of refuge, what is meaning of bodhicitta, and then this prayer. And then after that we have the mantra. I will teach you actually now, this actually the visualizations of Tara. The first of all, we have Ma Shinyata Jana Bhajar Sobawa Anma Koham. This is the mantra of reality. The meaning of this mantra, or translate, it becomes like all is emptiness. All is emptiness. That's the meaning of this mantra of Mahashunyat. That means every phenomena. Chu tamchit in Tibet. Chu means like phenomena. Tamchit means all this phenomena that we see, ourselves, the things that we deal with, are empty of self-existence. That is the essence of everything. Mahashunyata. Shunyata actually means emptiness. Right? Yeah. You know that. Shunyata. So all experience of samsara and all experience of nirvana are the fundamental base of the nature of the or the ground is the basic sort of shunyata, emptiness, which means that they called the primordial great emptiness. So this is actually Vajrayana's. It's kind of for very beginners, it's kind of difficult to understand, right? Om Mahashunyata Jana Bhajar Sobawa Atma Gohang. We are talking about all this experience, samsara and liberation, whole world, this experience. We're talking about shunyata, means emptiness. all this experience and things arise from the emptiness. So who has that base that we call like ground or nature or this basic or the essence of all the phenomena? We all have that. You have that basic, that nature. Uh, we have, all living beings have that. According to Buddhism, not only human beings, even though like animal realms, all living beings, doesn't matter who has a consciousness, then we have this nature. All we have that possess, that they call the Buddha nature. So basically, uh, as you know that the path to samsara begins with ignorance, right? And sort of continues, uh, we have uh, the 12 lengths of independence origination. And samsara is experiencing all these phenomena through our ego and our grasping because of ignorance. So samsara is nothing more than that. Samsara is actually ego and grasping. Path to samsara begins with ignorance because of ego clinging, and because of grasping, because of ignorance. And the path to liberation, nirvana, begins with wisdom, and they call it self-liberation, which leads to the fruition of enlightenment. That is the result of freedom from samsara. We call it enlightenment. It's nothing other than freedom from samsara. Freedom from samsara means like uh, not experiencing based on ignorance, experience based on wisdom or self-liberation. Self-liberation is freedom from samsara. So that's what we call the self-liberation, or nirvana. Nirvana, we call it in Sanskrit term, is experience of the basic nature of mind, okay, which has the quality of freedom and uh, spaciousness, as well as the experience of basic sort of goodness. That is the nature of mind. Buddhist point of view, liberation is nothing other than recognize one's nature mind. So it's sort of connected with the idea of the attainment of liberation, enlightenment. Your mind, your body, and also the entire universe merge into the sort of state of great primordial emptiness and arising energy of the great true nature. So that is the meaning of this mantra. Do you understand? When we recite this mantra from our basic nature of mind, that we call Buddha nature. And the masters who liberated, the enlightened beings, whenever they recite or meditate these kind of things with very enjoyment, right? Enjoy because of nature, based on everything, the great emptiness and nature. So therefore, when we meditate or say this mantra, you need to realize that everything is emptiness. It's because the whole idea of emptiness is true reality, which means the fundamental uh, principle of where things have come from and the fundamental principle of how things have existence. Last time we had read the Samandabhada's prayer. We talked about that, and Samandabhada says uh, all that appears and exists, all of samsara and nirvana has one nature. That's his talking. One nature, two parts and two results. Do you understand? Everything appears existence. Everything has one nature, which is we are talking about shunyata. But two parts and two results. So basically, when we say this emptiness mantra or the reality mantra, it means that all is empty. Okay? Simple way, easy way to explain this mantra means all is empty. So the moment we say all is empty, it doesn't mean that everything is not there. Everything it will be sort of, suddenly whenever, the moment we say this will sort of disappear, right? But it means how to everything is appears and how to everything is changing. That's you have to, for the beginner, I think. For the advanced, they're more than that. But for the beginner, whenever we say this mantra, you have to remember that how everything is appears and everything is changing. There's nothing permanent. So this means that all phenomena that arise have depends upon other phenomena. And therefore, there is no true existence of their own. So that is important to know, right? Because if you want to sort of, according to Mahayana point of view, if you want to sort of destroy or diminish your attachment, anger, ignorance, three poisons, then I think very important to understand there is nothing permanent. Everything sort of that arise here depends upon others, right? We are sort of depends each other. All these phenomena, there's nothing, there's no true existence of their own, which means everything is changing moment by moment. So if you understand that, I think less worry, less stress. Everything is changing, never the same. So I think that's very important to know. When we're talking about emptiness, we're talking about everything and and ourselves. So we understand that all beings with a mind, with a consciousness, and life will change by cause and conditions. So it is actually the essence of the emptiness. Without cause and conditions, then uh, the great emptiness is impossible. So that's why we, when we say that, oh, may all sentient beings have happiness and cause of happiness. The cause, so important. People usually hope and thinking about the result, but they're not thinking about the cause. If you have no correct cause, then your hope, you will never get the correct result. So therefore, very important to understand uh, when we say this reality mantra or emptiness mantra, whatever, the nature, what is the essence of, what do you call it, this phenomena, all phenomena, what is the essence of it? It is the nature of reality. Because from that one nature, uh, remember Samantha said, everything comes from one nature, but we have two parts and two sort of results, because from that one nature, sort of, branches go in two different directions, right? And there are two different paths lead to the two different result of samsara and liberation, nirvana. So with this understanding now, wherever we are going to meditate, that sort of, place, that area has to dissolve into the nature of reality, which means you have to recognize there is nothing sort of solid. All become empty, which means there is nothing. It is like sort of, empty space, you know. As an easy sort of visualization, we can use sort of just space like empty. So that's here says whenever you start, first very important, think about refuge and bodhicitta, all of that, right? Because the refuge here is the different between Buddhist and non-Buddhist, they said. And then once you are Buddhist, then we have a Mahayana and a Hinayana. So the bodhicitta, the bodhicitta prayer makes the difference between Hinayana and Mahayana. So which means once you think about bodhicitta, which is your practice, Mahayana teachings. And then after that, of course, Mahayana's point of view, everything is depends on cause and conditions. They called interdependent origination. So even though it's difficult to uh, recognize the true nature, the great primordial emptiness, but we sort of think, we think, and if you want, you can investigate, right? Sometimes when we hear, when we meditate on Vaitara or say this mantra, what is this space? What is the house? What is people? Everything, if you investigate, everything like, dissolve into the nature. You can't find anything. relatively we attached to this space, people, everything. So we see, so there appears like ultimately nothing exists. That's the nature. So it's so important to connect whenever Mahayana practice, the teachings, we have to connect our nature. We are so far from our nature, which means we just, it's there, but we just don't recognize it, right? So that's sort of Mahayana. This mantra sort of remind and sort of tells you that everything is uh, arise from the nature, the emptiness. And then after that, now what do we sort of raise out of this emptiness? The moment we say this, and then sort of suddenly in that open space or the emptiness, we call it emptiness. So from that, sort of appears a wonderful. Now I'm talking about how you visualize White Tara, okay? So first you sort of, whenever you say this mantra, all everything sort of, dissolve sort of into the nature, and you can sort of little bit stop and pause there and just look at your mind and how you feel everything. Let go your negative thoughts, which is the attachment, grasping, and ego, all of that. You just let dissolve into the nature, and you will feel, you will experience the true nature. So you just relax there for a while, and once you really recognize, you experience, you feel that true nature, then from that, because that's what we call sort of great wisdom, the combination of wisdom and compassion, right? So that's sort of nature. From that nature, you have to visualize Vaitara. Vaitara means, like, I will explain you this detail, but means like relatively you can visualize. Ultimately, you can recognize the essence of Vaitara. So here, now first you have this, the empty space, empty, what do you call it, the great nature, the emptiness. You will experience if you meditate. Just to say one time this Shunyata, the Mahashunyata Janamada Sobo, Anmako Hang, you say that, and then you look into directly your nature mind, and then you will see everything, and you will see this nature, and then out of that nature, then you have to visualize. We have first you visualize. And the space before me appears a white lotus with a moon disk upon it. So you have to visualize a beautiful white lotus. And at the center of lotus is sort of moon, you visualize moon disk. So why? Moon, it's everything, the Vajrayana Mahayana teachings, everything is symbolic. The teachings, visualizations, everything. The why you moon disk, when as soon as you visualize moon disk, you have to think about your compassion. The moon is the represents compassion, nothing other than that. Do you think really White Tara sits on moon? No. Everything like, something like, symbolic, right? Symbolic. You like that. You like that. So I don't. Okay, you have how many? Oh, let's see. What is that? When you see this, what you visualize, what you remember immediately? Samsara? Really? Otherwise, there's nothing, right? That's why I'm on this side. Okay, you have this side. And there's and according to it, I'm not going to teach you. People sometimes, usually people, in Tibet, they use sometimes here. It's purpose, not, I'm not going to teach you that, but so it's symbolic, right? So why that when you visualize the moon disk, she doesn't really sit on moon disk, but it's your compassion. You have to remember your compassion. And then what we have, the love and compassion of all enlightened being appears from this noble way. Okay, so we have compassion, right? Why we use the moon for compassion, actually? This is the same thing all the time when you practice Vajrasattva, when you practice Samandabhatra, when you practice Vaitara, Pamasamba, whatever they have, you can see the moon on the cushion. White lotus, right? It's pure, which means symbolize the pure. And then we have white moon there. So that's like sort of, it's compassion. We use moon as compassion because it's moon is sort of in Tibet, according to Tibet, they think the moon is very gentleness and very lightness. So it represents compassion. And compassion is very gentleness, very kindness, right? So that's why I think we use moon for compassion. So what do the lotus and moon together means? So we have first white lotus, and then we have moon, right? The lotus means purity, right? Purity. And purity, and we can see like white lotus, beautiful, right? It's clear and beautiful. So the white lotus is represent the wisdom in Tibet, according to Buddhism, wisdom. So the moon means compassion. So now you think about it, even though at the cushion level, Tara, you have the combination of wisdom and compassion together. That is the essence of the nature, essence of the teachings of Buddha. So this means that Buddhist point of view, always this combination is so important. Wisdom and compassion. Whenever you meditate, you practice, first you have to develop your wisdom and compassion. So the compassion and wisdom, both we can also understand relative level and ultimate level, right? So here we're kind of talking about the relative level. You need compassion, you need wisdom. Otherwise, we don't know. Because, this sort of combination of wisdom and compassion is the essence of enlightenment, actually. Essence of enlightenment, essence of the liberation, the essence of our life. You understand? Without compassion, our life meaningless. Without wisdom, our life brings lots of suffering because not knowing, ignorance. Wisdom and ignorance, right? Whether we have ignorance or wisdom. So if we can develop our wisdom, It's not really sort of naturally, you already have wisdom, that's it. You cannot develop. No. So even though you don't have wisdom, you can develop your wisdom. So, we need to understand and develop this too, which is about talking about our mind, actually talking about my mind. So if we realize that all of the happiness and unhappiness very much depends on our mind, very much depends our minds, then we will know that we have to focus on our mind and how to control the mind and how to be sort of, for example, tolerant with the situation. So if you understand that, then whatever you do, I think you will be happy and you will be very peaceful, very kind person. That is the purpose of practice Dara. And then our sort of whole sort of attitudes will pure, right? Pure. And everything will sort of turn out very good. And then even though we are living in this world with lots of sufferings, lots of ignorance, but our minds will experience of happiness all the time. Doesn't matter where you live. That's equanimity, that's understand, that's wisdom, that's compassion. You will understand others, and you can be very tolerant person. If you are not tolerant person, you have a difficult circumstance, you will give up and you don't care. That's not wisdom. So you can see in the cushion level, we have amazing qualities. We have to think about our minds, which is compassion, wisdom, right? Wisdom and compassion, not outside, right? Within, we have to look inside and how to develop our mind. So this really, that is actually now we start sort of Tara, thinking about Tara, how to visualize. Tara is nothing other than love and compassion, love and nothing other than sort of wisdom and compassion. So that is how the activity of the enlightened beings is a combination of wisdom and compassion. So Tara is actually Sanskrit, Dorma in Tibet, Dolma. Dol means liberation. Ma is mother, right? So in Tibet language, so the mother of liberation, which means female Buddha. So now we have that, and upon that, the seed syllable tam arise. Tam is, we have the picture here. Okay, you have that picture tam. It's the syllable, which represents again essence of Tara. So you can sort of visualize tam, this syllable, upon the center of the moon disk if you want. And as soon as you visualize the seed syllable tam immediately change into Tara. So if you already have sort of practice Vajrasattva, it's very similar. Vajrasattva, you visualize this Hong syllable first, right? As soon as you visualize Hong syllable, it's immediately changed into the Vajrasattva, right? Because of that kind of essence of these deities. So either you can visualize tam, this syllable, and change into immediately Tara, or you can just visualize on the Tara, visualize Tara on this moon disk, white lotus moon disk, and then you can visualize Tara, the liberation of mother. And then you can visualize now the right now we're meditate or practice white Tara. So you can visualize a white Tara in front of you, and Tara sits on a lotus and moon sort of cushion. And now what looks like Tara? Do we have a picture? Yes, we do have picture. So I will explain you. Maybe some of you are very new about Tara. So I will explain her the body postures and the symbols. Okay. So now when you visualize Tara, her right hand and the right hand in gesture of, we call it generosity, or sometimes in Tibet we call it an invitation to those fortunate ones who seek liberation, and symbolizing her motivation to give love, protection, and teaching the Dharma to all beings according to their needs and their sort of dispositions. So you can see her right hand like this, which means like we call it generosity mudra in Tibet, which means the given to those who fortunate, those disciples, given the Dharma teaching. Dharma teaching given, we have three generosity, right? Given property to others, and given save animals, people's life. That's big generous. And then we have given teaching. So given teaching is the profound and the authentic generosity. So this gesture, right hand, actually gave sort of um, um, generosity mudra, you know. So that's her right hand. That's sometimes we call chokjin, means like, supreme mudra of given. Jin means given. Chok means like the best, supreme in Tibet, chokjin, okay? And her left hand is in the gesture of the three jewels, which you can see like this, right? Her left hand, which her thumb and ring finger touching each other. No, ring finger. What is which one is here? That's yeah. So, and then the other three fingers stretch upwards. See the other three fingers you see? These three are actually represent three jewels. So this means Tara sort of, really protecting us from suffering and giving the Dharma. So he is the really protection. So that's why we should practice Tara. And also her left hand holds the, we call it Upala in the Sanskrit, blue lotus, which means like blue lotus flower, right? So there are three different shapes. We don't have this picture, it's not correct one, but usually he holds the blue lotus flower, we call it Apala. Different shapes, flowers on one branch. Do you see there? Yeah, okay. So So the center flower is fully open, and the second one is at the fruit level, and the third one is bud about to open. So the bud represent the Buddhas of the future, and fully open lotus is symbolized the Buddhas of the past. And then grow and the fruit level lotus is Buddha of the present. So this actually the three Upala different shapes represent past Buddha, present Buddha, and future Buddha. So this lotus, the Upala blue lotus represent all the Buddhas, which means shows like Tara is nothing different than Buddha. So Tara is your object of refuge when you practice her, which shows these three times Buddhas. Tara is nothing other than Buddhas. In reality, the essence of Tara is Buddha, all the same. So that shows sort of in reality she is all sort of enlightened being and the physical form of Tara, sort of inseparable from our own nature of mind if we understand. In reality, Tara is Buddha, Tara is Dharma, Tara is Sangha. She is our sort of spiritual protector, three jewels. So in this case, don't sort of, understand or visualize Tara as a picture or, tanka or a statue, but you have to really understand she is a sort of wonderful woman with qualities of body and mind. So that's now you understand Tara, a little bit. And the next visualization is also, this is kind of a little bit in detail, okay? If you can't visualize that, that's also fine, but some people can, so I will explain you. So once you visualize Tara and in her heart center, you need visualize another sort of small moon disk again, and on the moon, then visualize white thumb. You will see her mantra Om Tari Tutari Turi Soha. So then you uh, when you recite the mantra, the Tara's mantra, imagine at the same time sort of the nectar of wisdom or compassion, that's sort of light, uh, uh, come from these syllables, right? So tari tutari turi. So you don't need to visualize each syllable very clearly if you can't. But once you visualize Tara there, her heart center, then you visualize her the mantras. Okay, you just visualize that they're there. So the mantras, and then each mantra, the syllables light come from these syllables, and light actually sort of represent the wisdom and compassion, which is the blessings of from Tara. And so these sort of nectar or the light from the syllables and from the Tara's body sort of comes down through your body, uh, and whole sort of you get sort of that light or nectar whole your body, and as soon as you get that nectar or light, purified all your obstacles, bad karma out of your body, and purified all of them. Yeah, sure. It doesn't matter, but I think usually I visualize above my head. Then you visualize, and then you seeing is um, relatively, you visualize Tara there, and you are there. We are assuming that we are just an ordinary person with full of sort of negative thoughts, negative karma. And Tara is, we believe and visualize as a female Buddha, which has a capacity and qualities. So that's why we protect. We are going to refuge Tara. So then you visualize all these lights and nectars come from female Buddha and receive your body, purify all your negative karmas. Yes, from the white Tara's body, and goes into your your channel or whatever, and then your heart center, and then purify all of thoughts, negative karma. That's visualized kind of relatively, and then you have sort of, you get the blessings from her, and be more sort of compassionate and purify all your negative karmas.
Will you tell us a little more about the seed syllable Tom? What is Tom's? What's the symbol for, or what is it?
The symbol, the essence of Tara. The Tam is, it's a syllable, right? One syllable, which is represents Tara. So either you visualize Tam or visualize Tara, they are the same. So this is like practice Vajrasattva, pretty much same. That is the sort of activity of the nectar of compassion from the syllable. You get sort of, now this time we are really sort of, if you do this exactly what I told you, you feel and you really connecting to the Tara's wisdom and compassion. This is we call blessings, because we need blessings, I think. Otherwise, sometimes when we try to practice but we don't feel like doing it, right? So even though you like visualize Tara, but you are not really connecting, means you're not experiencing something from with the Tara. Try to meditate, right? But we don't feel really doing it sort of correctly. And sometimes we try to listen the teachings, but we don't understand very well. When we meditate, but nothing is sort of developing, nothing is changed, then the problem is we're really missing sort of this kind of blessings, and we're not connecting to the enlightened beings, which means like we're not connecting enlightened being, means like relatively you need your lineage, you need your teachers, you need somebody's really guide, right? You are not connecting with that. Ultimately, you are not connecting your nature, your labor, the enlightened being means like ultimately the nature of the primordial great emptiness. We're not connecting that. So therefore, we need Tara's sort of, the wisdom and compassion received from her. So if you, that's kind of whole things. If you cannot visualize the whole these things process sort of same time, simultaneously, and uh, you can sort of separately. Sometimes you visualize her, sometimes just to recite, sometimes think about your mind, sometimes think about your thoughts, sort of alternately, you can visualize that. Otherwise, you can, great masters just visualize simultaneously together, all, just like, but that's the first visualize Tara, and then at the end of the section we have in this the prayer dissolving. There's the visualization for dissolving. When we say this dissolving prayer, uh, you visualize, now you have already Tara there, and then dissolving Tara should according to, looks like the according to our prayer, we need to think that the moon and the first we have visualized the moon and syllables at Tara's heart center, right? So those dissolve into Tara. And then Tara dissolve into your heart center. Once your heart center, Tara merges into your own sort of true nature being, or Buddha nature. That's what we call it. That's the essence of practice.
So, Khenpo, this is very experiential. I mean, we're experiencing this. When we're visualizing, it's like your heart is opening, right? I mean, it's not,
Yes.
it's not like
Well, the visualizations can help many ways, but for ordinary point of view, when we visualize Tara and wisdom and compassion, what happens? The happen is we are stopping thinking and develop other negative thoughts. Become one thought. That's I'm talking here. The end of the dissolving. Everything dissolve into you, and you see the nature mind. So relatively, when you visualize Tara, it helps you don't develop other negative thoughts, attachment, ignorance, anger, all. Always we visualizing something or thinking something, right? But now you visualize Tara and wisdom and compassion, you are developing positive thoughts. So that's the one benefit, I think, the visualization. Why we practice, why we visualize Tara there. And then if you are advanced practitioner, then it helps that to recognize your true nature. So
When you taught on the prayer of Samantabhadra, you taught about how it doesn't matter how many buckets of water or bodies of water, the moon can reflect in every single body of water, because the moon has the capacity to reflect, and so does water. Same thing, is that like the same thing as in when we are visualizing Tara, she's arising as in some ways the reflection of our wisdom, the union of our wisdom and compassion, which is the nature of our mind. So in some ways she's separate from us, but on the other hand, the reason she can arise is because we have that empty nature that is the union of wisdom and compassion. And that's our way of connecting with her, right? It's just
right.
like the moon would be reflected in water. Same type of connection.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if it's Samantabhadra or White Tara. Both the deities function in the same way as far as the visualization goes.
Ultimately, yes. Relatively different. So why am I say Tara is our protector? Because protector for our negative thoughts, I think, obstacles.
So when we talk about those negative thoughts, we're talking about like anger and jealousy.
Yeah, whatever you feels Not necessarily anger, jealous, negative thoughts for everybody, but something that you are thinking, something, it brings you uncomfortable, unhappiness, obstacles. That is your negative thoughts. Not necessarily if I'm thinking something, like for example, if I get angry, not necessarily it brings me uncomfortable, unhappiness. That's not my negative thoughts. If not, it brings suffering. Sometimes, in order to uh, holy people or beings, they shows anger, but they're not really angry, right? Because of purpose, benefit. So that kind of anger is not necessarily negative thoughts. But if you, it's individual things. The negative thoughts, negative karma means individually, sort of, something you thinking something and it brings you worry, stress, uncomfortable, unhappiness. That is your negative thoughts, we are saying. So therefore, when you visualize Tara and say recite the mantras in ritual, that's we call protector, because for your obstacles, for your negative thoughts. So now at the end, Tara dissolve into your nature. There are two ways you can practice too. If you really understand the nature mind, you can meditate on that as long as you can. If you don't understand what is meaning of the nature mind, then you just at the end dissolve everything. Like, remember when we say that when we start with the mantra of Mahashunyata, it's kind of everything is become sort of pure and empty space, right? So now the same thing. They come from all this appearance, everything, visualizations include ourselves, whole universe come from this emptiness. Now at the end, you also there go back, sort of dissolve into the space on that emptiness, because that is the ground, we call it. That is the nature, that is the best. So it's come from that, but it's also dissolve into that. It's so important. So then you just let them dissolve into that space, and then just be relaxed and just calm your mind. If you're very, very beginner, and when you do that, sort of you have to look in it directly your mind. And if you really get the blessings from Tara, you will see the true nature, um, which we can say like the union of wisdom and compassion, or we sometimes we say awareness and emptiness, right? So then we just need to keep on looking at it. There's nothing else that needs to be done. So just to relax on that. That's why the one reason, the point of practice Tara is to recognize this true nature. That's the long-term goal. When we practice Tara, slowly stop and purify our negative thoughts, and then eventually uh, she will um, pointing out your nature mind. If you really connected with her, definitely you can. That's what we call you can you got the blessings. So that's all today. So most important at the end, you just to relax and look at your mind. Uh, and when your mind sort of, starts to become very tired, and then you have to rest, right? You have to rest and then um, relax, and then also, mm, if it is difficult to meditate on sort of nature mind, if too difficult, relax, and then your thoughts arise, then say the prayers, say prayers of Tara or mantra of Tara with devotion, respect, and then again look at your mind, then you will see very different. um, Sometimes you looking at mind, practice, meditate, and so difficult, and then just to stop there and then say some prayers of Tara with your devotion, respect, faith, understanding about her, um, then say some prayers and then look at your mind again. You have to do that sort of, alternately many times. And if this meditation, it's difficult, and if you are beginner, then just to relax and recognize the present moment. That's what we are saying, the present moment, and let your mind simply relax. That's also another way to stop uh, uh, thinking negative thoughts. And if you're a better practitioner, of course, then you need to turn your attention to the sort of the clarity of your mind and pure awareness, right? Focus your attention on this sort of, nature and pure mind, and let your mind dissolve in the sort of, that nature space, and then you have to sort of feel this experience, feel that nature of your mind, like clear, empty space, and so concentrate on this sort of union of compassion and emptiness. Do you understand? Visualizations, how to start, how to end, how to maintain the middle. Do you understand everything? Okay. If you understand, we should try. 10, 15. Oh, okay, maybe go through quickly and then we can take a break. So the first page, the refuge. I and all sentient beings take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Tara, and her mandala. I and all sentient beings take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Tara, and her mandala. I and all sentient beings take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Tara, and her mandala. For the benefit of all sentient beings, in order to obtain the state of perfection, I shall practice the sadhana of Dara. For the benefit of all sentient beings, in order to obtain the state of perfection, I shall practice the sadhana of Dara. For the benefit of all sentient beings, in order to obtain the state of perfection, I shall practice sadhana of Dara. May all sentient beings have happiness and cause of the happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of the suffering. May they never be parted from the sublime bliss that is free from suffering. May they remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment, near and far. Om Maha Shinyata Jana Banjar Sobawa Atma Ko Hong. In the space before me appears a white lotus with a mandis. The love and compassion of all sentient beings appear from this as Nova Vishnu Tara. She sits on a lotus and moon cushion, a luminous moon hollow in her back. youthful and radiant, her right hand gesture and invitation to liberation, her left hand holding an opala flower indicates the protection of the three jewels, giving courage and assurance to those damned by prayer. I bow down on body, speech, and mind. I present offering both actually arranged and mentally created. I purify all deluded actions. I rejoice in the pure. I request you to remain until total enlightenment. I request your ways and compassionate guides. I dedicate my merit for the benefit of all beings. Brilliant light radiant from the thumb within her heart, collecting back the essence of existence,
vitality and powerful
essence of body, mind, energy streams forth from Tara's heart and body. I and all beings absorb this nectar of light and are cleansed and visualized, obtain the radiations of death lives. Om Tare 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 Soha. 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 Om Tare Tare Soha. Om Tare Tare So. Om Tare Tare Soha. 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 Dare Soha. Om Dare Soha. Om Dare Soha. Om Dare Soha. Long life mantra. Om Dare Dare Mama Ayaranjana Pirangore Soha. Om Dare Dare Mama Ayaranjana Panye Pirangore Soha. Om Dare Mama Ayaranjana Pirangore Soha 3 times, and then we will go to the dissolution, not the Tara's prayer this time. We are run out of time. All phenomenal appearance becomes the mandala of noble Tara. Everything dissolves into light and dissolves into noble Tara. Noble Tara dissolves into my heart center and protects me. Sometimes it's you just if you are very new for this practice, you just to go through all these mantras, rituals one time and say and focus on the meaning of the ritual, and once you've done that, at the end, then at the end this dissolve into everything in your heart, and then just relax. Then maybe sometimes it's very good to sort of revisualize again. You got a whole thing that the teaching, and then just only visualizations, and then first to say rituals, right? And then at the end, just to relax like that, and then you visualize Tara, and then her heart center. Three things you have to first visualize her, and then second visualize small her with the mandisk with her Taras at her heart center, and then from that heart the syllables, lights and nectars, which represent the blessings, wisdom, compassion from Tara, and then at the end dissolve everything into each other and dissolve into your mind, and then you meditate on that. So three things you have to meditate. Okay, so take a break.